Hello, my friends. Shawn here with Manly Made Minute, and welcome back to another episode of Monday Moments, where I share tips, tricks, and helpful hints. As you know, a lot of the times I'm talking about stretching my supplies, getting as much use of them as I can, and looking for multi-uses for them to get my money's worth. I might be cheap. I don't know. I probably am. This one's about dies and die cutting. So we're going to use a die cut and we're going to do kind of a faux embossing kind of technique where I'm using up basically white paper scraps and die cutting it, putting it on another piece of white scrap that I've cut into a card size. It was just the right size. And then we're just going to glue it down and ink over it and talk about the different techniques that you can do to get this effect. So it's giving you that raised kind of effect, but we're just using paper instead of an embossing folder to do it. And this is just a great scrap buster as well. All right, so I am going to do most of this. Once I start ink blending, I will just cut, so you have to sit and watch my ink blending, and then I'll show you the final card. And so I'll just kind of blend that all together as I do my video. So before I go down to that down camera, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Would love to have you follow me here on YouTube, as well as Manly Made Minute on Instagram, where I share card hops, other cards, design team stuff. I do lives and all kinds of stuff here on YouTube as well. And a thumbs up on this video would be greatly appreciated if you like my content and would like to see more. Also, in the comments, if you have any suggestions or tips and tricks that you would like to see me do or ask, and if I can show something, please put that in there. I will respond to every single comment. I'm just looking for some ideas of what you all would like to see as I do these videos as well. Let's go down, let's do some faux embossing, and I'm gonna make a rainbow. Easy peasy, and who doesn't like a good colorful rainbow, right? Let's go take a look. All right, here's the die that I've used. I've done some prep work already. This is the Arched Collage, it's called, by Memory Box. And it just creates a nice rainbow. You don't have to do this in rainbow. You can do it all in one color, all different shades, different tones. Same tones, same family of tones, whatever you want. I'm going to make this in an actual rainbow and then show you how I assemble this. So I have die cut this out. You can see where I've die cut it out already, right? Here's my pieces. This is the piece I die cut it out. I have put this on a 5 1/4 by 3 3/4 cardstock underneath that is taped down. Then I lined the bottom edge of this die cut on my lines on my glass board, so I leave enough room down here to put a sentiment on this when I'm done. So I can just stamp a sentiment or emboss a sentiment right here in that space. Here's what you're going to do. Now you're going to take these white pieces on this particular die cut. You could use florals and put this all over, any kind of leaves. You could do all kinds of stuff with this. All kinds of stuff with this. I'm just doing a rainbow because I recently did a card hop with this rainbow, and I thought, ooh, this would be a great faux embossing one to try. So I just put this back down as my template, and I glue these back in to their spots into that template. I have this holding down on my glass mat with magnets, so it doesn't shift on me, and I just kind of work around those magnets as I do this, and I just did this the other day with another card, so I'm pretty savvy at moving that magnet around when I need to move that magnet around. And you just go through and assemble this back. Now, if you did florals or leaves and things, you wouldn't need to put it back in the template, right? You could just lay those all over that card front however you wanted to pattern them out. But because I need to line this back up to be a rainbow, that's why I'm using this as my template, my negative piece. But not necessary depending on the die cut that you decide to do. You could even just do if you've got a big floral or something that you have a die cut for that shows all the detail of it, you could just do one big floral and not, and then like I'm doing one big rainbow, just do one big floral. I think would be cool. I think leaves and things in the fall would be cool, and then just do like a nice brown, orange, all those kind of tones for fall. I think would be really nice. This die cut in particular, you got to be kind of careful, so you got to make sure that you line up those ends as much as you can. It gets off kilter a little bit if you don't get it in there good. All right, 2 more pieces, then we'll peel this off. Show you the white on white. I will start ink blending and finish the card and cut back to the end product here for you. All right, so last piece here. All right, now all I do is I carefully peel this up, keeping those pieces tacked down. And there's my rainbow. So I know it's hard to see in the glare and the light here, but you can see the texture of that rainbow, right? Now, all I need to do is get out my rainbow colors, and however pattern I want to do this, however I want to ink blend this, you could use powdered watercolors, sprinkle, 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 spray, be done. I could watercolor this, whatever, you could distress spray this, whatever medium you want to do, you go for it, okay? I think I'm just going to go kind of circular, actually, and create just this round kind of pattern. And I'll do a couple colors here for you before I come back. And all you're doing here now is just creating that dimension with those white pieces. Just like so. Go back. I always go back to my previous color to go with a nice blend. All right, I'm going to finish this rainbow, and I will be back, and I will show you the finished one. All right, here's my finished card. I did ink blending kind of in a circular motion in a rainbow color. Then I just took and heavily splattered this with water and then dabbed that back up. I have water reactive ink with Catherine Pooler, and I thought it would be cool to get some texture back into this a little bit as well and break up my pattern just slightly. But you can see how I just use all white and how this just gives you a great textured kind of pattern. Again, another alternative use for any kind of die cut that you would like to use. And then this was just a great scrap buster for me to use white paper scraps and use this to faux emboss instead of an embossing folder. Put a birthday wish on there. I did slightly give me a little purple matte on there with a little peekaboo around the black just to extend that purple out just a little bit. But there's the final look for you. So hopefully this gave you some ideas on stretching out those supplies with your die cuts. Go dig in your die cut stash, see what you got that you could do this with. Again, you could ink blend this, you could use powdered watercolors, you could use distress sprays, Brutus Monroe, chroma sprays, anything will work for this. And then you just layer it up. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging with me today. And until next time, I'll see you then.